This is the Just Steph Show, and I'm your host, Steph Palermo, your Italian Boston girl who's an empath, healer, and all-around seeker of wisdom. Tune in weekly for advice on how to live your best life at work, home, or play so you can feel groovy every day. Hey there, happy Thursday, and you know what that means? It is the Just Steph rules of dating. So this is dating advice for second lifers, and I coined that that phrase, second lifers were empty nesters, newly single, and those starting over age 3. Your healthy, happy, hip years are just beginning. So today I want to talk to you about being not good enough versus too much versus just right. Now, in future episodes of the Just Steph Rules of Dating, I'm going to hit on each of these in depth. So this is sort of a broad overview when it comes to relationships. So, and I want to start with myself because I think that it's that perfect example of both. And then of course the third one. But when I was married, I had the perfectionism syndrome, and I guess you sort of don't let some of that go. But I likened my life to making a bed with those old-fashioned bedspreads, and I would try every day to take the wrinkles out of the bedspread, but the wrinkles were always there. And what I mean by that is I worked very hard to make it a perfect household, that everything was done when my husband came home, the dinner was made, the table was set, the kids were happy, and basically I did everything I could to make sure that I could get to bed at night peacefully. And with 4 kids, do you think the bedspread is ever not wrinkled? I felt that I was not good enough because I could not take this chaotic way of being, of living, and make it perfect. Somebody was always throwing up. Somebody was always sick. Somebody always was getting in trouble in school. Somebody needed a ride, and so the life, it wasn't perfect. But in my marriage, I was never good enough for him. I never did enough. And it was just enabling my own lack of self-esteem every day. And I owed him for my entire life. So he perpetuated my own dysfunction. I came into the marriage that way, broken. So fast forward, divorce, and sort of getting healthy, and rediscovering many of my gifts. And I was sitting at my favorite place in Atlanta with a girlfriend of mine, and she said to me, "You're intense." And I was like, "Oh, what do you mean? I don't want to I don't want to come across that way. I'm fun. I like, I'm happy. I want to be approachable. This is what I do for work." And she said, "You cause people to rethink their life and to make changes." She goes, "It's not a bad thing." And I think that's just a sort of a words that used to label the fact that, I'm a healer and I bring healing to the people around me by just being around them. And I also expected of myself. And I actually had a boyfriend tell me that I was too much. And I thought, well, why wouldn't somebody want somebody who isn't dependent for money, doesn't need money? I am, smart. I'm not terrible to look at, and I'm fun. I love to enjoy life. I cook. I'm a great support. This is what was going on in my head. And I thought, I'm too much. And I would try and dummy down going forward, like not be the strong person that I am. And, because I have my weaknesses too, just like everybody else. So I went from being not good enough to being too much. So when do I get to be just right? So there's two sides to all of this. When we're not good enough for somebody in our own minds, that's what we'll attract into our life, somebody who makes us feel that way. When we don't feel good enough. And it's twofold. We'll find somebody that will enable that dysfunction. So it's not only you, but then we align ourselves with somebody who perpetuates that. So, and sometimes we're totally fine with ourselves and we're great and happy, and we find some lunatic that trying to makes us feel that we're not good enough, that whatever we do it's not good enough. I mean, I raised 4 kids and was not good enough. And crazy too. It was fun chaos. It's always chaos with 4 boys. And I was not good enough. And I never had somebody that said, thanks, or this is great, or I'm so happy, whatever, any of that. So we can be, but I did come in already broken. And then when you get to the other side where you're standing on your own 2 feet, you don't need anybody, you're okay on your own, you're alone, and you feel great, and you attract somebody into your life, and they can't deal with the light. They can't deal with your greatness, that you're so okay, that you're not codependent, because they're used to being in codependent situations, or having somebody who's weak, or having somebody who likes to fight all the time. That's what they're used to. But thinking that you're too much will attract that. You're too much. You've got too much to give. You're overqualified. What I say to that is, thank God. Thank God you're overqualified. Thank God that it narrows the pickings down so that you could find the right person with whom you are just right. So, little Goldilocks, changing your mindset on who you are and what you bring to the table will help you to attract Mr. Just Right or Ms. Just Right. You're not too much. You are enough. You're just right. And you will be just right for the right person. If you're too much, they're not your person. They can't handle you. They can't handle the truth. Just keep on being you and shining your light. And if you need help with any of these, like, you feeling not good enough, I can help you with that. Or feeling like you're too much, I can help you with that. I can also help you with getting on track so that you're just right. And you are just right already. You just don't know it. You are perfect just the way you are. When you live a purpose-driven life, you are your happiest. When you're on your soul's path, you're the happiest. So I want to just, I pulled up these articles so I could have something of value to give to you as well, that backs up what I'm trying to say. And, if you feel like you're not good enough, ask yourself these questions. When and why did I start asking, why am I not good enough? Okay, ask those questions. Journal, meditate. Okay, you owe it to yourself to recognize how amazing you are. Would you talk to your best friend that way? The way that you talk to yourself? I always say that. Be your own best friend. You're amazing just the way you are. If you're not good enough for somebody, let go of them. Let them go. If they make you feel that way, well, first of all, nobody can make you feel anything. But if they're trying, if they're using energy to make you feel not worthy and not good enough, it's time to move on. Maybe have a tough conversation. I can help you with that. But then it's time to move on. Take care of yourself, extreme self-care. Because when you do that, you will be sensitive to people who are negative. With whom do you surround yourself? Do you have friends that encourage you, that uplift you, that will criticize out of love? And I don't mean criticize, I mean be, loving feedback. And do you think that you're not good enough, but other people are? Do you think people are better than you? That's important. That's a terrible thing. Nobody's better than you. Nobody. We all bring value. We bring something to the table. And what strategies can I use to stop thinking, why am I not good enough? I think you need to make a list. That's what I think. Make a list of all the things you're good at and what you bring to the table. You know what you bring to the table, and you need to be sure that the person that sits at your table belongs there. Don't share your table with somebody who doesn't deserve to be there. Somebody who treats you like you're not good enough, or complains about how you're too much. So, and then here's something. If you're too much, these are some of your qualities. You feel intensely alive. See, I'm finally at that space, and that doesn't mean I'm not tweaking. You saw my video yesterday where I said I hadn't been honest and I hadn't been authentic. So I'm doing my own journey too, and I'm always tweaking. But I am so alive and happy. That's where you want to be, and I can show you that. You push the boundaries of conformity. I totally do that. I don't like people to be complacent. I don't want to conform to the mass consciousness and the thinking, the fear. I'm not going to do it. You're not going to do it either. You form deep connections. So the friends that I have, the people with whom I surround myself, I have a deep bond with, because it's not shallow. These are not shallow relationships. And we can get into shallow love relationships, especially if we're feeling not enough or too much. If you feel like you're too much, you have a rich inner world. That means you go inside, you meditate. You're connected with your higher self, with your higher being. You seek purpose and meaning. Anyone who has got it all together to some degree. Everybody's, maybe still on that journey. But when you have it all together and you're walking your walk, you're walking in your purpose. And you shine a light. Some people can't take the light. Some people will be attracted to the light that don't belong near the light. But shine your light bright, and you will eventually attract the right person into your life. You are just right for the right person. Don't give up the space at your table to somebody who doesn't belong there. So I'm going to pull a grace card for you. This has been really fun. Gift. I can't make this stuff up, people. Grace is a gift from God. We don't need to work. We don't need to work hard to earn it, feel worthy enough to deserve it, or surrender our needs to receive it. The gift of grace is our birthright. See, you're just right. For grace, you're just right. You're perfect. Receive grace. It's a free gift from the universe and from the divine. So if you have any questions, you can always message me. Comments, I love it. Say hi. Make sure you say hi if you're watching this later, do #replay. And that's it. So you want to find out more about me, juststeph.com. And of course, if you have any questions or concerns or comments, you can always email me at steph@juststeph.com. So I hope you have a fabulous day. I'll be back tomorrow with the Love Card Friday. Yay! So take a risk, be vulnerable, share your heart and love always. Know I love you all. Wishing you love, balance, and peace. Ciao, ciao, baby. I love you. I do. I'm crazy about you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Just Steph Show. I really care about you, your happiness, and helping you make great choices for your life. So tune in next week for more wisdom from me. In the meantime, follow me on my Just Steph Facebook page, on Twitter at Steph Palermo. My Instagram account is JustSteph1, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Steph Palermo. See you next